NSJT, no secrets, just truth. Jazrael Emil Kavan, and this is chapter 2. Welcome to chapter 2. Now, I've been on this campaign for the last 2 years. A campaign in which I speak about my life, about my beliefs, my evolving nature. Chapter 2 for me is more about you getting to know me, where I've come from, what I've gone through, what changed me, the passions that are within me, the desires, the wishes, the dreams, the sorrows, and the pain. For me, my life has been a roller coaster. I've gone through so much. I used to say that every emotion that exists, I have felt it. There is nothing new for me. I have tasted the bottom of the barrel, and I have sat at the table with kings. It's a part of my nature to believe that those around me should be honored, should be respected, and should be loved. Now, when I say honored as a king, honored as a queen. For me, my whole life has evolved around so much pain and so much tears in my life that I had to look within myself and believe that I had a role in joy and happiness. See, I was a young kid when I realized that the world was unfair. I was a young kid when I saw what reality was. I grew up in the 80s. It was a rough time in the 80s. See, in the 80s, the troops that was in Vietnam had already came home. Drugs were more prevalent in the inner communities, inner city communities. Violence was in the inner city communities. There were drive-bys constantly. I used to joke that in my elementary school, like in the Midwest, they have tornado drills, we have drive-by drills. We knew what to do. See, my elementary school was in the heart of my community, so there was no escaping it. My sister's fifth grade graduation, there was a dead body in the street. I had gone through 14 years of abuse, so I can understand. Those who have been through a lot. 14 years I was imprisoned in a cage that I wish upon no one. I know what it's like to be hungry. I went a year without food, resorted to eating toilet paper to survive. See, one thing about Jazrael Emil Kavan is I'm not afraid to tell my story. I'm not afraid to be who I am. I am misjudged constantly, talked about constantly, misunderstood constantly, doubted constantly, criticized more than most. because I refuse to believe in a world without compassion and empathy. Every message and every day and every breath that I take, I try to do something with it. See, 14 years of watching the world live their life, see what their greatest fears were, to hear a part of their lives. I have kept a lot of secrets over the years, a lot of secrets. And those secrets contain the things that I witnessed and the things that I've heard and the things that I know to be true about others. Things that they have come to me and spoke to me and told me in private and in confidence. But to be honest, I've had a portion of my life taken away because their stories were so dramatic that it caused me and my life to go in a tailspin. Because the amount of stories and secrets that are contained in my mind now, I realize I will never get them out. Now, my YouTube channel kind of expressed the ideals and the things I believe in, expressed the sense of urgency for now, has some of my creative works. I think I have evolved within the past year into a person who understands that to do battle sometimes is to stand still. To do battle sometimes is to pray. Sometimes to do battle is to walk away. I've always had a philosophy about me that whatever you believe you think I am, I am. I will not contradict you. I will not go to war with you. Let your lies be your lies. For those who truly know me know the truth, know who I am, what I'm about, and how far I will go to get what I want, how far I would go for the truth, how far I would go to protect those I care about. See, for me, I grew up knowing that 14 years of abuse, that people that knew what was going on with me, the kids that joked me without understanding what they were doing, I had to forgive them. See, they knew not what they were doing. It hurt. But I couldn't worry about that hurt because by the time I walked through the front door of my house, there was another hurt that was going to come. Storm after storm, day after day. I grew up with a bed and a table, no TV, no toys, books. I lived a very sheltered life. It took me creating NSJT, No Secrets, Just Truth, to finally find some freedom, something to do with all my compassion, my empathy, my power, my voice, something to do with my philosophy, something to do as an advocate, defending the truth, telling the truth. So much I want to tell you about my life. So much I want to tell you that you can overcome in your life. I've been there. I've been homeless. jobless, hungry, thirsty, crying. I've been at the moment where I wanted to take my life and tried to. It was my faith in something greater than what I was that pulled me through. And what he said to me was, I love you. It was those words that gave me strength. I love you. When he gave me the message that you belong to somebody greater, it was the most powerful message. When he began to explain power before the moment to me, I was stunned. The prophecies and the prophetic words that I spoke to those who needed me in so many dark times was amazing to me. He had began working on me before I had even begun to look his direction. He had begun to lay down a path to protect me and guide me to where I am today. So I want you to focus on your life. I want you to understand something. He told me that no one man can build a house. And it's true. You got to do the wiring, the plumbing. You got to build the frame, the foundation, lay the drywall. You got so much to do to build a house. You need a crew. You need those who specialize in that area. And what he said to me was that each and one of us has that ability, has that power. We all have unique abilities that fit in our families, in our friendships, in our relationships, and society. Some of us deny who we are, and some of us fight hard for who we have become and who we are. He has always had me focus on the future instead of here and now, instead of the past. And I have fought him tooth and nail because I wanted to feel the experience of here and now, even the pain. I was diagnosed with lupus quite some time ago, diagnosed with quite a few other things some time ago. And the challenge for me is that I can't change, that I got to continue evolving, that my messages have to become more powerful, that who I am has to become more powerful. Not only am I trying to outlive a disease and to defeat a disease, but I'm trying to defeat several at one time. I'm trying to change the world around me all at the same time. I'm trying to restore the honor of love in its place, its rightful place in the world. As a poet, I cannot stand by and watch love die. As an advocate, I cannot stand by and be voiceless while others go through so many things in their life. As a believer, I cannot allow those who misrepresentate the Bible, misrepresentate religion itself without even knowing its origins. It's so often that I ask people that when they read the Bible, do you study etymology? And they tell me, no. To me, shows me the lack of enthusiasm for you to understand what is before you, because etymology will begin to tell you what these words and where these words came from, what the original words were. We live in a world where we splice languages. We have international Bibles, study Bibles, King James Version, but none of them speak of the Greek and the Hebrew, of the African, of the Muslim connection in our Bible. Our Bible was meant for all faiths, so it was taken from all religions and put together. Now, it'll be so many who say they don't believe me, but when we start talking about the Ashara Post and we start talking about the three temptations of Jesus, when we start talking about Revelations, the third person that will sit on the throne of God, when we start talking about why Jesus will have a new name, there are those who cannot answer that. When I was asked what created this world, I responded wisdom. But that is in Proverbs that wisdom was the oldest spirit and the spirit that he used to create this world. What is the greatest commandment? To love thy God with all thy heart. Jesus said, I tore the temple open to reunite man with God. Eat of my flesh and eat of my drink of my blood. There's so much. There's a richness to the story. In Daniel and Ezekiel and Matthew and the Gospel of Thomas. In the lost books of the Bible. In the Gnostics, who began keeping track of the writings that was left out of the King James Version of the Bible. As the scholars debated whether to even include these things. Our religion knows no borders. Our religion knows no markers, no lines in the sand. We are children of God, and we have to believe that we can enter places that no man could ever enter. My life's mission is never done. Whether I'm too tired to get up and do it, I know that my mission is not done, that I must do this and continue doing this, speaking and delivering messages to those who need it. I may not be popular across many of these social networks, but I can tell you that my heart is true, that my words are true, that I believe every last one of them, that I have researched and researched and researched and researched until my hands were tired. And I'm still not done. Because when people ask me questions, I want to respond with the answers, and I want to show them where they can find the answers. I was a stickler like that as a student. I believed that if you wanted to do something, that you would learn with every power that you had, every fiber of your being, of what you wanted to do with your life, and you would learn it. If you want to go to medical school, why not study anatomy before you even get started in medical school? to learn anatomy. You want to be a lawyer, why not start going through law books and precedents and cases and files that you can get your hands on so that you can already have the mindset to do it. For me, my messages speak to the spirit of the people who ask me to speak to them. My voice is not waiting for the many. My voice is waiting for the few. And I understand that. I do not seek fame or popularity for my messages or for my sites. I don't require that for me to open my heart and speak. This is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is so much different than every other episode that you have heard so far. Because now is the time that things are going to change for me. Now is the time that everything will change in my life, which means that the messages will be different, which means that I will continue to evolve before your eyes and before your mind. As a poet, I trusted that what I wrote changed lives, that what I wrote touched hearts and souls, that every scar that I have is proof positive that I am still standing through the storm, proof positive that you can live through anything. My story of growing up was horrifying. I can identify with so many. The adopted, the raped, the molested, the ones that was emotionally abused and physically abused, those who are outcast in their own community, among their friends, among their family, those who wanted a way out of the world completely, that wanted to throw in the towel and say that I was done. But I know this to be true, that there is a higher purpose for us. There was no one in the Bible that was not an outcast. God was constantly choosing outcasts, those who was worth the little did the great, those who were scorned were praised. Those who were told that they committed the greatest sins among all things in life were forgiven. So don't tell me that I don't have belief in a passionate and a patient God, because He's been patient with me. He's been patient with the world as a whole as they turn their backs upon Him. How can we stand by while so many turn their backs on our Father? How can we stand by when so many are being lost in the translation of the world? When so many are called outcasts, put down, ridiculed, bullied, and made ashamed to be alive. I hear pro-life people speak so much about the protection of life, but yet during life there is no protection. They refuse on gun laws, on teachers, on social workers, on the critical infrastructure of the human experience of life. If man wanted to rule, why is he not thinking about that critical infrastructure of building a human being of pure character, of pure nature, and pure heart? We're supposed to live in the richest country upon this earth, but rich in what? Money? Money that most of us will never see. Yet we have crimes going on in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our states, in our country. That is reaching proportions of heights never seen before. More and more are becoming homeless and jobless. More and more is becoming desperate to feed their families, to keep a roof over their head, to keep their jobs. I hear you. I understand what I must do. And I made this message because I want you to know that I have been hearing the prayers of so many. I receive phone calls of so many asking me for the advice of what to do now. What am I supposed to do next? And to respond to you, it is only fair for me to begin to move back into the position that I was in. The position of preparing to do battle on the behalf of so many. And I will not fail. Because I've been doing battle since the day I was born. Battle is what I do. Even if it costs me my last breath, I am going to continue with the messages, and I'm going to continue fighting, and I'm going to continue being an advocate, because that's who I am. I am Jezreel Emil Kavan. I am who I am. I will not fail. I will not give up. No matter what, I'm standing here because somebody needs to prove that all through life, no matter what happens, someone is still standing. Someone still believes in a higher power. Someone still cares about this day. Someone still cares about tomorrow and the dawn of tomorrow. The fatherless, the motherless. The answer to the question, am I my brother's keeper and my sister's keeper? The answer is a yes. After everything that I've been through, I want to tell you this last thing. I couldn't do it alone. For somebody to think that I'm so high and mighty and I have this ego that I'm all of this and all of that, I could not do this alone. There have been so many who have stood in the gap and done so much and taught me so much in my life. They have no idea the gift they have given me, and I am thankful. So at the beginning of chapter 2, I want you to realize this is for you. The time is now to go to war. The time is now to fight. And I'm ready. Are you?